Hi guys, John with the Osteopath here. We're going to be doing some stretches today. This is how we normally finish the Pilates session. We're going to just do a variety of different stretches for the full body, the ones that I find are absolutely essential. You will need a stretchy band or potentially even a towel to do some of these stretches, okay? I like to work from the ground up, okay? We're not going to cover the calves today. We will include those kind of partially in with the hamstrings. I normally expect people to do a lot of calf stretches when they've been running, usually afterwards. That's not to say they're important, but we don't normally cover them in the session because there isn't time, because calves, they really need at least 2 to 3 minutes per leg on their own anyway. So they take up a lot of time, so I usually recommend you do those at home, and I can do another video for the calf session if you wish. Anyway, in the meantime, so what we want to try and do is we want to try and use one of these bands to stretch your hamstring. There's 2 ways to do this. Pop yourself on your back, if you can, like so. Ideally, keep both legs straight down. If you want, you can put a pillow under your head to support your neck, okay? If you feel like you've got a bit of a hunched forward posture, this is a good idea. Now take the band and you can loop it around your foot like so. In fact, let's do the other leg first. And just do a standard stretch by pulling up, okay? And normally what I say to most people is don't do this. Pull the elbows into the ground like that and squeeze your shoulder blades together, keeping the tummy tucked in, and simply pull up that way. So you're using your biceps a bit. With a stretchy band, you simply pull further up if you need more leverage like that. And you hold this here whilst your tummy is held here for about 30 seconds. Now, also I'm looking at the camera here. You don't really want to be turning your head to the side when you do this in case the shoulders are implicated slightly and you don't want to hurt your neck, okay? But just simply hold that like so for about 30 seconds, okay? What you can do to make it a bit more effective is take the leg across the body. Now, you might need to do this with one hand out to the side, like that. You can assist it with the other hand if you want, pushes them a bit more. The reason I like the stretch occasionally is because it stretches a bit more than just the hamstring. It stretches, focuses on the lateral hamstring, the biceps femoris, okay? And also, of course, the sciatic nerve. So you're getting almost a sciatic nerve flossing, okay? Which is, so if you've got a problem in your lower back with a disc sciatica brevis, this can help sometimes. It can also aggravate it, so you don't want to push it too hard. But this is a lovely stretch. As I said, it stretches the muscles and the fascia and the nerve. It's a very holistic stretch for the hamstring. It's brilliant for lower back problems. It can make a big, big difference. And again, you hold for about 30 seconds. If you notice, of course, the toes are pulled down as well, so the calf is involved with this. But as I said, it's not a pure calf stretch. Obviously, do this on both sides if you can. And once you've done that, we work slightly further up the leg. So we're going to simply come to a basic glute stretch by taking one leg, crossing it over the other. Place the hands underneath the knee, and letting the head drop down. All the while, keep your tummy held here. Now, again, a lot of people do this. They pull up this way, and what happens is they end up irritating the shoulder. So I want you to pull down into the floor. So think about these muscles here, coming down and back and squeezing to here. Okay, so this is really good for your posture, and those postural muscles do the work of keeping your shoulders back anyway. So you're getting an exercise with a stretch at the same time. And as I said, always hold your tummy in when you do these things. That's good. Again, it's good practice to keep a good tonicity in the transversus abdominis muscle. After you've done 30 seconds of that, pull the knee, lift the knee up, take the same knee across the opposite shoulder. So this is my right knee, and it's coming to my left shoulder. You may want to put your other hand out onto the side to stabilise so you don't roll. But try to keep the hips on the ground if you can. So a lot of people will do it like this, and they'll pull this way, and then the lower back is involved. Try not to, just simply pull it, keeping most of it flat on the ground, and shoulder, so that knee to shoulder. And as before, hold the tummy in the whole time. That's great. And if you get groin pain with this, as some people do, it's because there's a bit of wear and tear in the joints, or it just so happens that the joint surfaces they're just built that way. This may not be the right exercise for you, so just do the other stretch I recommended before. Of course, when you're doing these stretches, the whole purpose is to relax the muscle. It's not, let's pull it as hard as we can and cause pain, because very often you can tense up against it, and that actually causes more tension than when you started. So when you're doing these stretches, think about putting your mind into the muscle and thinking, now relax. So you don't have to put it super hard, just hard enough, okay? Think of it a bit like a sponge that's been soaked in water. Now, that is a sponge, that glute there. It's got blood inside, it's been working hard. Maybe there's lactic acid there. You want to get that lactic acid out, so you're wringing that sponge out, and then you're letting go. So fresh blood can come back in again. Okay, so think of it that way. Don't think of it in terms of, I'm just going to pull it as hard as I can and stretch every fibre, because you don't want to actually cause any trauma. Okay, so after we've done the work on our glutes and our hamstrings, I'd like to move on to hip flexors. Now, one of my favourite ways to do this, there's two stages to this, is you must use a pillow. Place the pillow here and your knee on top of the pillow. Put the other leg in front. Hold your tummy in. Hold your back so you can see me a bit better. Hold your tummy in like this. And squeeze the buttock here, so pushing the pelvis kind of forward like that. But then keep it tight. Don't keep rocking it. Just find that position of tension and hold it there. Now this is mainly for the psoas muscle, which sits in the groin here, okay, and goes up to the spine. So by doing this, you're locking it out. I don't really see doing any of this. I don't like these stretches. They can overstretch the hip capsule and cause a lot of damage. People do them in yoga. Very often they know what they're doing. If you're new to this, I wouldn't suggest going any further than this. And because it's a controlled stretch, it's controlled by the buttock muscle tension, okay? Now what you want to do with this is now turn. So if you twist in the direction of the other leg there, you're going away from the psoas muscle, which is coming obliquely down. So you're putting a bit of an extra stretch through the psoas. There we go. And again, normally hold for 30 seconds if you can. If that's too easy for you, and you find the tension in the hip flexors isn't coming so much from the psoas, but perhaps from the quad muscles in particular, the rectus femoris, you need to do a different stretch altogether. Well, it's a slight modification. Again, use the cushion, and you might want something behind you like a wall, in my case a sideboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot up against the sideboard as high as possible, and my knee here, providing your kneecaps don't mind being weight-bearing items. However, of course, we do have a cushion here to protect them. Okay, so the other knee comes in front in the same position, okay, and you then come back upright. Now, it's the same thing as what we just did, except the leg is now up here. You can't really see this, but my heel is up against my buttock now, and I'm pushing back. Keep the tummy held in the whole time. Nice upright position, imagine your spine going up towards the ceiling, but you're not leaning back, so you're not bending the spine back. It's a straight spine. Squeeze the buttock on this side, okay, to push that pelvis forward, okay? And as we did before, you hold that for 30 seconds, if you can, comfortably, okay, and squeeze as hard as you can, which will allow you to put your mind into that muscle to think about relaxation. And one way to do that, of course, is using deep breathing. So take slow deep breaths in and slow deep breaths out. That switches your parasympathetic nervous system on, which is that which controls the opposite of your fight or flight. It controls relaxation, for example, and helps with sleep patterns, it helps digestion. All these really useful things you don't want to be switching off. You want to switch those on and be calm. Okay, and release. That's good. That's about 30 seconds again. Now, what I like to do with these bands, these bands are brilliant. I like to now finish off working up into the shoulders. So we've worked on the bigger muscles, now with the slightly smaller muscles. One of the ways is simply grasp a band and put it above the head and put it behind your back as far as you'll allow. Now when you're doing this, this opens up the chest a little way. So you're hitting the pectoral muscles which sit across here. Now you can vary the angle slightly. You can bring one arm down like that as you do this, and up, and the other arm down and up. Or both arms together and all the way around behind your back. Just find that tension point. You may need to grip a little bit closer with one of these bands. But the great thing with the band is there is a bit of give. That's lovely. And so you can actually decide how much power you want to put on the chest muscles just by varying the position of your hands. That's lovely. Okay, once you've done that, okay, providing that's comfortable to do so, you want to now try to work up into moving the shoulders behind your back here and in this direction too. So the simple way is if you're rubbing your back after you've had a shower, you get a towel and you put it behind your back like that. It's the same principle. I recommend after you've had a shower to do exactly this stretch, okay? Because it's a great time to do it. So you simply take the arm above the head, you grab hold of the band here, as you can see, it's behind my back like this, and you're simply going to pull it down to there. Again, with this, keep your tummy tucked in, okay? Nice upright position and pull down. So this arm is straight, and the other arm is straight. So if ideally, there should be a straight line coming from my left arm up to my right arm and elbow, okay? Now with this, you don't want to have your head forward. A lot of people do this when they do the stretch. It has to be held upright and a nice, strong posture, okay? You see it from the other side. There we go. And again, same kind of thing, hold for about 30 seconds if you can. Now what you do with the other arm now is you bring this arm now up behind your backs to here. So straightening out the other arm like that, okay? And then you can see my arm's right up in the back there. That's a lovely stretch to do. It just increases internal rotation. A lot of people have a restriction in internal rotation, so this is a great exercise to do to improve the movement. So we'll do the other side as well if you can, like that. Some people get a bit of pain doing this, so you can actually do it standing, and you can push against a wall or a doorway against this as you lay down. You can even do it on your front. I've done this on my front before. I'm saying I may use a cushion to give me a bit of extra padding. So I'll come down, so the cushion is up against my shoulder, and then my arm is above my head like that, okay? In that position there. So I'm using gravity to force my shoulder back in a comfortable position to wing my scapula. And so if you can see my thumb here, that's bringing the scapula back and out. Okay, once you've done that, you now want to work on to the neck. Now, these trapezius muscles, so they're quite big muscles in a lot of people, and they cause a lot of problems. So we're going to try to work these as well, okay? Now, my favourite way to work these is with a band. So normally, if you would just stretch your head to the side, you've got quite a great range of motion. You can actually do some irritation and damage to the neck muscles. But if you get one of these bands, you can put it over your shoulder, and you can put some tension on by pulling down. Now, don't put it too close to the neck. You may want to put it slightly further away to the middle part of the trapezius belly, and you pull it to there, okay? And that will create tension here. I'm going to move about to there. Put as much pressure as you need. You may need to do it standing if it's easier. Use both hands to push your shoulders down, and then let your head drop to the side like that. Try to keep your chin towards your chest. As you do that, you can go forward a bit if you want as well. I prefer a nice neutral position there. And that just holds the traps down, and also the scalenes underneath it as well. It's a lovely stretch. Do it, of course, on both sides. You'll find one side is going to be worse than the other in most cases. Usually, if you're right-handed as I am, it's usually the right side, because everything got to gravitate towards that right side. So you can push down, head to the side. Oh, there we go. That's really, really tight on me. I don't have to go very far at all before I've got tension coming in to the side of my neck. Again, do you want the chin to your chest to increase the stretch a little bit more? And release. Fantastic. That's a great way just to get that muscle stretched out without having to push it too hard. Once you've done that and those bigger muscles have been worked, you can then start some gentler rolls. So what I suggest you do is just simply breathe in and then breathe out. As you breathe out, roll your head forward as if you're rolling down to touch your toes, and breathe in and come back up again, okay? Breathe in and breathe out as you roll backwards, and breathe in as you come back to the middle again. Try to do it really slowly. Now the same thing to the side, so breathe out as you turn your head to the side. Breathe in as you come back out to the middle again. And ideally take 5 seconds to breathe out and 5 seconds to breathe in. So breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it's good to pause at the end, so I'm a bit tight going that way. So if I come to the side, like as I breathe out, and then I breathe in and I hold the position. So breathe in, and breathe out. And this time I'm going to push it even further that way as I breathe out. And breathe in, and breathe out, and back to the middle again as I breathe out again. And that just helps to increase the range of motion a bit more. And then once you've done that, then try some circles, but start by doing quarter circles only. So you may want to start off by dropping your chin to your chest, rolling to the side, to about here. Again, finding these tension points. When you find a bit that's tightest, you want to concentrate on that. Just hold that point there. You may want to adjust by dropping your chin to your chest, or putting some rotation one way or the other way. Just find that point. And with the breath, I can also breathe out and release and back to the middle again. Same thing on the other side. Breathe out and roll to the side. Find the tension points. And breathe in and back to the middle again. Okay. And then you want to work through a hemisphere. Sorry, semicircle. So again, breathe out, chin to chest, roll all the way around as far as you can, all the way out. Back to the middle here, and breathe in and all the way back round the way you came. Repeat on the other side, so breathe out and all the way around. Back to you looking up at the ceiling, and breathe in and come back around to the middle again. And then once you've done 2 semicircles, you then may feel comfortable that you want to do the whole circle. So again, drop down, breathe out. When you come out to the middle of the point, keep going at this point, breathe in, and back all the way around to here. When you've got back round to the centre, go back the way you came, breathing out. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed as you do. I just realised I was quite tense then, so try to go floppy. So breathe out, and then back to the middle again. At this point, breathe in, and you're there again. You should find the neck will be a lot looser and have a greater range of motion. So we've worked pretty much from the ground up, mainly our hamstrings, our glutes, okay, and our quadriceps, and then into the shoulders, and then finally onto the neck itself. That should be a basic a stretch routine that you can do after you've done Pilates or any exercise for that matter, but I always recommend you do it in this order. Always start with the bigger muscles from the ground up and finish off with the neck, okay? Because if you start with the neck, sometimes you can then end up tensing everything else out, using the arms to pull you into other positions anyway. So you want to look after those little muscles in the neck and do those last several. But anyway, I hope this helps. As I said, if you're doing Pilates with me and we run out of time, as we often do on the Zoom calls, then this is the thing to do. So you can return to this at a later date. Anyway, good to see you. Look forward to seeing you at one of my next Pilates sessions. Take care. Bye-bye.